In this video, I'm going over a Void Hunter build so strong, it's going to put you in a higher tax bracket. It's going to raise your IQ, and it's even going to make your father finally proud of you. Just kidding, it does absolutely none of those things, but the build is pretty strong, giving you infinite volatile rounds for increased ad clear and damage, full health and full shields on every single kill with Devour, a nearly endless supply of overshields, which do reduce the damage you take by 50%, plus it synergizes perfectly with the rocket I covered in my recent video for some insane burst damage. Also, really quickly, GamerSupps has a massive restock this Friday. You can get your hands on a brand new flavor and some of the super popular ones that get bought out really quickly. Use code GM for 10% off your order to support my gambling addiction. Let's start things off with the centerpiece for this build, which is the exotic chest piece Gyrfalcon's Hauberk. With this equipped, anytime that we exit from invisibility, we're going to be getting volatile rounds for our void weapons. On hunters, we're then going to be able to pair this with the aspect Stylus Executioner. With Stylus Executioner, by getting a kill on a void debuff target, we go invisible. So with both of these paired together, a volatile kill makes us invis gives us volatile back, and this process repeats. We are also using the aspect vanishing step so that we can dodge quickly to also go invis, which is nice for instantly starting this cycle up. As long as you have a dodge, this means you have access to infinite invis effects, and in turn, infinite volatile rounds. For the other main abilities in the build, I like to run Deadfall Tether since it's a simple way to apply a 30% debuff to enemies, and it's still one of the best overall ad clearing supers in the entire game. But Quiver is also another great option if you just want that increase in damage. On top of this, our Smoke Bomb is also extremely useful. This applies weaken effects to enemies as well, which is also great for slightly tankier enemies. And once again, since this too is a debuff, we can use this to pop in and out of invis as well, because after weakening an enemy, this is going to then proc Stylus Executioner. Echo of Undermining is then going to be our first fragment on the build. With this, our grenades are also going to weaken enemies, which is another fantastic way to get this cycle for infinite volatile rounds to start up. This is definitely going to tank your discipline stat though, but in my opinion, we get enough grenade regen as is, so this really shouldn't matter. With this, Echo of Obscurity is going to allow finisher final blows to also proc invis effects. If your dodge is ever on cooldown along with the other abilities, since we're spamming them and using them often, this is going to be a great way to always rely on going invis. And with our loadout and Gyrfalcons, this will also have other synergies that I'm going to be covering later in the video. Echo of Persistence is going to allow for longer base timers for invis, overshields, and devour, each of which we will rely on heavily in this build, so that's great. And then lastly, Echo of Starvation is going to allow void breaches and orbs of power we pick up to proc the devour effect. With devour active, any kill is going to extend the timer, give full health and full shields, and then even give us a percentage of grenade energy as well. Just with our subclass and exotic alone, this build is already pretty wild. Once you get the cycle going, as long as there is an enemy to kill, you're going to be getting that instant 10-second refresh on invis and volatile rounds. And with all the failsafes that we have, you will never be unable to get the cycle going. Don't have your dodge for invis, use your melee instead. You don't have your melee either, then you can always use your grenade or super, and even if all abilities are completely out, you can always just do a single finisher to start things up as well. And then from there, the volatile rounds carry for your ad clear, and Devour helps keep you alive in any situation. On screen now, you can see the full mod setup that I am rocking with this build, but to keep things short and sweet, I'm just going to be covering the most essential mods for this build that you definitely want to have on. First off, in the artifact, Unto the Breach is how we are making void breaches through defeating any void debuffed enemies. And then on top of this, the mod Protective Breach is going to give us an overshield whenever we grab this void breach as well. And that overshield is going to last longer, as I already covered, plus native to overshields, they're going to give us a 50% reduction in damage. Heavy Ammo Finder is great for your ammo economy on your helmet because we are mostly clearing with a primary weapon in this build. So using a primary is going to increase how effective Heavy Ammo Finder is, increasing your overall heavy ammo drops. Firepower is also super useful since we get a ton of grenades. This is going to just increase the amount of orbs of power we're spawning in. And then we're going to be using those orbs when we pick them up with Innervation and Insulation to grant class ability energy and grenade energy back as well, on top of picking these up to trigger Devour. Lastly, since I do use this build to do a good amount of finishers already, I'm also running special finishers so that I might as well generate special ammo for me and my team while doing this. Proximity Ward is also really nice to help keep me alive when doing these finishers, And I do also have on the brand new mod Powerful Attraction, so that anytime I dodge, I can gain all the benefits of collecting orbs nearby and easily collect 3 armor charge stacks and then go right into a special finisher. The reason that finishers are also going to be strong on this build is because we can use these to gain another overshield through Gyrfalcons, plus we also get bonus damage to our weapons. When paired with the new Cold Comfort rocket and its origin trait as well, we can also use a finisher to increase our effective mag size, allowing us to store a reserve rocket that fills the mag whenever the magazine hits 0. So with this and our dodge, we can easily fire 3 rockets very quickly to burst down the health of any boss or champion. Overall, this build has a ton of synergy, and the ease of use is kind of insane. It's basically impossible to not have volatile rounds whenever you need them. On top of this, the artifact mods carry this season, opening up the fragments we can run while still getting the full benefits of things like void breaches and overshields as well. Last season, I ended up making a video covering the 3 best builds currently in Destiny, and this season, when I make an updated version of that video, this Gyrfalcons build will 100% be going on that list. There really isn't any situation where I wouldn't run this build, and that can't be said about most builds in the game. Some builds are going to be strong for GMs, some for raids and dungeons, other ones for speedruns. This build is fantastic for everything. Let me know your thoughts on the build in the comments down below, and we have also started to get into speedruns for the brand new Ghost of the Deep dungeon over on my Twitch. We're putting a run together now, practicing encounters, so a link to that and my Discord are both going to be in the description below if you guys want to check that out. As always, have a good one, guys. Peace.